Hi, and welcome to Pet Pals. Every week we showcase 10 animals from the Frederick County Division of Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center who are looking for forever homes. I'm Linda Shea, with me is Randy Cooper, and the first puppy we're going to take a look at is Rex. Normally Rex would not be sitting in a chair, however we try to showcase him the best we can considering he's got an e-collar on. And the reason for the e-collar, he had something called entropion surgery. This is actually the second time. The first time he had the surgery on his left eye was with his owner, and it didn't quite heal the way it should have. So we had to have it done a second time, but just on the left side. And generically speaking, entropion is when the eyelashes sort of turn into the eyeball instead of away. So it's uncomfortable, to say the least. It can cause some irritation in the eyeball. It can cause some more severe damage. So the surgery is routine. We sent him out to the vet, had it done, and now it's just a matter of probably the more difficult part is to keep him from scratching at that left side. But he's done an amazingly well job. He is leaving it alone. He's healing nicely. Rex is only about a year old. His birthday's in November. He was turned in. His owners were relocating and could not take him along. But he is neutered. He has tested negative for heartworm and Lyme disease. He's got all the vaccines on board that he needs at the moment. Really nice disposition and temperament. We have him color-coded orange, so he has a lot of manners already. Just needs somebody to continue working with him, especially since he's a young dog. But this is Rex, looking for a forever home. This beautiful little girl is Bella, and Bella actually means beautiful. She is about a year and a half old. She's a German Shepherd mix, and she's come a long way. She came to the shelter previously owned on January 5th, and today's about 2 weeks later, and she really has warmed up to shelter staff and volunteers. She has gotten used to the routine, and she's certainly a very affectionate dog. Still a little bit nervous and seems a little bit shy in front of the camera, but other than that, we do have her color-coded green, and even though she's over a year old, we do have her down for being adopted through our puppy process. And the reason that we have her on the puppy process type of adoption is that we want to make sure that we screen people. We take up to 4 applications, and what she will need is some additional training, folks with resources as far as time and consistency in their scheduling, and also some dog experience, just to bring her out of her shell a little bit, to make sure that she is socialized as best as she can be, because coming into the shelter about a year and a half old, she's kind of at a disadvantage on the socialization end. But nonetheless, she is gorgeous. She's about 55 pounds. We've brought her up to speed on the vaccines that she needs. And she was turned in, I guess she lived in an agricultural section of Frederick County, and she was chasing livestock. So the owners decided to turn her into the shelter. There's ways to prevent that, and certainly the first line that owners should be thinking of when you have a pet in your life is to, especially dogs, you want to train them. You want to train them that they know their name, they know how to sit, and certainly that they know how to come back to you if you need them to. So that would be first choice. And of course, second choice, we are here and available to take in animals from within Frederick County. But we are looking to place Bella in a home, again, that has some time, not necessarily money-wise, but just time-wise is valuable as far as training her and instilling some good canine manners. But she is available for adoption and looking for a forever home. This busy guy is Rudolph. Rudolph is a stray from Thurmont. Came to us on December 10th, so he's been in the shelter for a while. He did have tracheobronchitis, so we had him in isolation, sort of a doggy cough. Treated him for about 14 days, and so that has been resolved. Any residual coughing that you might hear now is from him pulling on his leash. So he would be probably better suited with a harness that won't put as much pressure on his trachea. But nonetheless, Rudolph is about 8 to 10 months old. He is a pit bull German Shepherd mix. He's a gorgeous color red with kind of a sable mix in there. Coming to us as a stray, we don't have a lot of information. We have brought him up to speed on vaccines, on deworming, and certainly treated him for the coughing he had done. He's about 50 pounds, and because of his age, but I would say primarily because of his energy level, we have him also, his adoption will be through our puppy process. And for those of you not familiar with our puppy process, what that means is instead of just taking 2 applications from potential adopters, we take up to 4, and that allows us to screen adopters to figure out which is the best match for our animal. And because with Rudolph, what he's going to need is somebody committed to training him, somebody who's going to be committed to exercising him. And exercise with Rudolph is not going to be just letting him out in the backyard to run around. He needs some manners. He needs to know how to sit. He could probably learn how to fetch. So he's a smart breed, smart combination. Pit bulls and shepherds are just extremely smart, and they need more than just to be let out and run. So that's what we're looking for him. Prior to adoption, he will be neutered, he'll be microchipped. And also our adoption process involves an interview, which is somewhere around half an hour, however long the adopter needs, just to make sure that we've answered all the questions, disclosed any information that we need to in the process. But this is Rudolph. If you have energy and you have time, then he would be an excellent choice.
Sit. Good, sit. That's all you need is time. Yeah.
He's got beautiful teeth. This young dog is Onyx. He's about 10 to 12 months old, and he's a beautiful pointer mix. He's got that chocolate brown color with the white and some ticking on his legs. He is about 56 pounds, and Onyx came to us previously owned. He was left with a friend, and then the friend could no longer keep him, so that's how he ended up here. About half of the animals that we take in are stray, and about half are previously owned. So again, the shelter should really be a last resort for owned pets. If you have a pet in your life, you really need to, first of all, think before you get an animal. You want to make sure that you can make that commitment. Dogs of this breed can live to be 10, 12 years old, so when they're cute little 8-week-old puppies, you really do have to think far ahead. And if your lifestyle changes, if you move, if you relocate, if your personal situation changes, you really do have to think. It's in their best interest, but certainly we are here as a last resort. So that's how Onyx came to be with us. Again, he's about 56 pounds. We do have him color-coded green, and because of his age, but mostly because of his activity level, he is also one of our puppy process adoptions. He needs some manners. He's got a high energy level. He needs to learn to keep all 4 paws on the ground, not to jump up unless invited, and certainly to take treats gently. Also, walking on a leash, probably the one thing, if we could do here at the shelter, we try to work with our dogs. We just have such limited resources. Although we have wonderful volunteers and staff, the time commitment, we're not able to necessarily provide that. But if you're interested in volunteering at the shelter, we're always looking for good volunteers that are willing to come in on a consistent basis to work with some of our more active dogs. And Onyx is definitely one of our more active dogs. But if you have the time, again, and a commitment level to work with this kind of a dog, he is available for adoption through our shelter. This is Piper. Piper is obviously not a dog, but we only had 4 dogs to put on our show today, so she's filling in for the 5th spot. She's about 10 to 12 months old, and Piper came to us as a stray from Emmitsburg. She is a gorgeous domestic short hair, brown tabby and white. She's got a gorgeous pattern to her coat, and the joy of cats is that even though we might say tabby is the pattern, brown is the overall color, every cat has a very unique pattern to that coat. So she's just a good example. She is, again, young, 10 to 12 months, about 7.5 pounds. We've brought her up to speed on vaccines, deworming, flea prevention. We also test our cats for feline leukemia and feline immunodeficiency virus, and she has tested negative for both of those. Any cat on our adoption floor, that's one of the processes that we do on our initial exam, is to test them. So if you're interested in adopting a cat from us, you know that they've tested negative for those 2 viruses. We do color code cats as well as dogs, and she's color coded orange. Blue animals are typically very laid back, extremely social, kind of just more relaxed. Green are the more active or shy animals, and then you can see where Piper fits into orange. She is affectionate, she's social, but her age, she's a little more active than she will be when she's, a little bit older. She does have some wear on her teeth, and again, coming to us as a stray, we don't have any more information than what we've known since she's been at the shelter. She came to us not very long ago, just on January 7th, again from the Emmitsburg area. And that's it for the first section of Pet Pals. You want to make sure you stay tuned. We're just going to take a short break, and we will be right back.
Credit and debit cards are now accepted at the Frederick County Community Development Division. Customers can now pay for permits, inspections, and development review fees with their credit or debit card, either online, over the phone, or in person at the office. Please note that a service fee will be charged by the card processor for these transactions. We hope that this new convenience will further strengthen the Frederick Board of County Commissioners' business-friendly strategic goals as part of our Open for Business campaign. For more information, visit frederickcountymd.gov/community development or call 301-600-2313. Frederick County Workforce Services and its partners are proud to support Frederick Works, one job at a time, an employer hiring initiative that encourages Frederick County businesses to create or fill at least one new job to boost our local economy. So far, the initiative has tracked over 1,500 jobs. There's no cost for employers to participate, and the benefits of joining include positive community recognition and free publicity. Visit www.frederickworks.com/onejob for more information.
The Frederick County Health Department's On the Mark Adolescent Clubhouse and Sober Activity Center is a safe, community-based clubhouse which provides a starting point or continuing care link for peers supporting one another through the process of recovery. Membership is free and open to youth from ages 12 to 17 who are in treatment for substance abuse or are struggling in this area or who have completed a related program. The clubhouse offers fun and sober games, homework help, skills building, and many other activities. Located in the Health Department at 350 Montague Lane in Frederick, Maryland, the clubhouse is open Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 7 p.m. and Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. To learn more, call 301-600-1126 or visit frederickcountymd.gov on the Mark. Please also like us on Facebook at On the Mark Clubhouse.
Welcome back. Now we're going to take a look at 5 of our adult cats that are looking for homes through the Frederick County Division of Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. First cat we're going to take a look at is Oliver. Oliver is a gorgeous domestic short-haired gray tabby. He's about a year and a half old. Came to us previously owned, and he is gorgeous. He's about 13 pounds, so he's on the large size. Most cats on average weigh about 8 or 9 pounds, but it's not to say that he's overweight, because some cats just have a larger structure, kind of like different dog breeds have different structures. So Oliver is just a large build, very handsome. He has also been tested negative for feline leukemia and FIV, which is something that we test for on all of our cats. And he came to us, the owner became pregnant and could no longer keep him, did not want to keep up with the litter box. What we recommend in those circumstances, again, the shelter should really be a last resort. If you're expecting a child, you do want to talk to your obstetrician, gynecologist, you want to talk to your medical doctor about any health risk that might be imposed by pets. In our experience, though, typically, washing your hands should happen regardless of your physical condition. Changing the litter box, if you have someone else in your home that can do that for you, that's also an acceptable alternative. But again, talk to your medical doctor about what works best for you. But that's the reason why Oliver is here with us. So we have placed him on the adoption floor. Before leaving here, he'll be neutered, he will be microchipped, so in the event he gets away from his new owners, we can certainly return him. And he is used to being an indoor cat. His previous owners have him down as more independent in nature. So what we recommend is that you come in and visit if you're interested in adopting him.
It's okay. It's okay. It's all right.
This is Paige. She came to us as a stray from Sibyllesville back on January 7th. With strays, we name them, so she didn't obviously come in with that name. We go ahead and name them. It's a little more personal than saying Cat 2591. Paige is about 9 pounds, about 3 to 4 years old, and again, a lot of times when we have strays, we take a best guesstimate as far as their age based on their teeth, based on their body structure, based on their overall condition, based on their eyes. There's a lot that goes into kind of educationally gauging how old they are. So we put Paige at about 3 to 4 years old, which is relatively young. Cats can live an average of 15 years if you keep them indoors, if you keep them safe, if you make sure that they get to their vet at least once a year to make sure that everything's working from nose to tail. They can live much, much longer, and we've heard of folks that have their cats for 22, 23, 24 years with good care. But we have her at about 3 to 4 years old. She's a brown tabby and white, again about 9 pounds, so she's more on average of what an average cat weighs, somewhere between 8 and 9 pounds. She came to us already spayed, so we know that some point in her life somebody took responsibility for her in owning her and doing the right thing and having her spayed, so she's not creating kittens that are unwanted. Prior to leaving here, she will be microchipped, so if she gets lost again and ends up at a shelter or a vet's office, we can quickly return her to where she belongs. But right now, she is looking to be adopted from our shelter. This pretty girl, we named her M&M, like the candy. She is about 3 to 4 years old, came to us as a stray from Mount Airy. One thing we recommend, if you have a pet and it goes missing, we're the only shelter in Frederick County. We're at 1832 Rosemont Avenue, so we highly recommend that you not only call us and advise us that your pet is missing, but that you come to the shelter and walk through, because your description of what your pet looks like, what breed it is, may be entirely different according, based on what our records say. M&M, if you look at her coat color, some folks that may not understand cat coat colors may consider her a tabby. She's actually a Torby. So again, if you're missing an animal, you want to come to the shelter so you can visually verify or provide photos of what your animal looks like. So tabbies are usually, they've got stripes that are within their coat. Torbies are a type of tabby. They've got stripes as well, but it's got orange in there. So if you think of a brown tabby with orange mixed in, that is what M&M's coat is. So we have her Torby with white, 3 to 4 years old. She's also about 9 pounds, similar to Paige. So more on average of what a cat should weigh. Now M&M also came to us as a stray but spayed. So someone somewhere loved her enough, took the responsibility to get her spayed prior to when she was younger and prior to coming here. So that's a good thing, so she's not able to create kittens that are unwanted. But on the other hand, we know that she did belong to somebody. So if you're missing an animal, you do again want to come to the shelter. But M&M is here and she is looking for a forever home. This is Jorge. He came to us previously owned. He's about 7 years old, and he is definitely a larger cat. He's about 12 pounds, 4 ounces. We went ahead and examined him yesterday. He does have a birthday of December 1st, 2007. So there's a benefit to adopting a previously owned animal only because we know more information. So if you're a little leery about adopting an animal without a history, Jorge would be a good choice of cat. He is gorgeous. He is a very sleek black color, very reminiscent of a panther. He's front declawed. We do not advocate front declawing, but he came to us that way. So and again, if you're interested in adopting a cat without front claws, we do document that if they come in that way, and we advise you to just kind of keep a lookout for that. We have him color-coded orange, so he's generally agreeable to being handled and pet. Does take him a little time to warm up, and the family that had him prior had him his whole entire life, so came to us on January 10th. So it's taking him a little bit of time to acclimate. Cats are sort of no different than dogs. They do need some time to adjust to the noise of the shelter, the different sounds, the smells, the visitors, and all the people traffic. But he is warming up to us, and again, he's older, so there is an adoption incentive off of his adoption fee. So his adoption fee would be $77.50 instead of the $97.50. It's not because he's worth less. It's only because it's an incentive because he's older. The last pet we're going to take a look at on Pet Pals today is Ivy. Ivy is a stray, and she came to us from the Smithsburg area. She's a domestic long hair, but if you look at her face, she's very reminiscent of an exotic breed, maybe a Himalayan, maybe a Persian, just because her nose is a little more flat than your regular cat face. But she is gorgeous, and I know you hear me say that about all the cats in our shelter because it's true. She's black and white, and she's about 8.5 pounds. Again, on average for what a cat really of an average build should weigh. We have tested her for feline leukemia and feline FIV, and she's tested negative. Coming to us as a stray, we've taken a best guess as far as her age. We've put her at about 3 to 4 years old. She does have some tartar and wear on teeth, so we're not sure if maybe she was outside, or sometimes, depending on what diet you feed your pet, that can contribute to their eyes, their hair coat texture, and also, you know, their dental health. So you want to make sure with any animal that you have in your possession, cat, dog, exotic, you want to go to your vet at least once a year just to get a nose to tail exam. As they get older, they do need blood work run to make sure their kidneys and liver are still working properly. And again, it's important to develop a relationship with a veterinarian, not just for primarily for your pet's benefit, but also, you know, emergencies happen, or you know, if you have a new pet in your family, you want to make sure that you have an established relationship with somebody that you're comfortable with in bringing your animal to for ongoing vet care. But this is Ivy. She is, as you can tell, very affectionate, very sweet. Another stray cat that came to us already spayed. So she did have a family at one point that did the right thing, that had her spayed, so she can't contribute to the overpopulation of unwanted kittens. So if you're looking for a beautiful cat, and if you know how to drive a brush, you want to make sure that you come to the shelter to check out Ivy. And that wraps it up for this week's Pet Pals. As always, we're glad you could join us. If any of the animals here have caught your interest, you want to make sure you visit the shelter at 1832 Rosemont Avenue. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next week on Pet Pals.